Hey, welcome. You know that feeling when you're just full of energy at certain times of the day? Or how your mood seems to shift with the seasons? Well, believe it or not, thousands of years ago, ancient Chinese medicine was already digging into this really profound idea that our health isn't just a state of being, it's a rhythm, and it's deeply, deeply connected to the passage of time.
Yep, it's a huge question, right? But it's really at the heart of what we're going to talk about today. This isn't just about feeling tired or awake. It's about this idea of a deep, almost resonant connection between your own body and the cycles of the world all around you.
So where does this incredible perspective come from? Well, our source is an ancient text called the Nanjing, which you can translate as the classic of difficult issues. And it puts forward this amazing idea that our bodies don't just exist in time, but that they actually reflect and echo time's very structure, from the seasons of the year all the way down to a single breath.
All right, so let's start with the big foundational idea here. How can a person be a reflection of the entire cosmos? It's this really beautiful concept of the body as a microcosm.
So what does that actually mean? The core idea is that the very same patterns that govern the universe, the turning of the seasons, the sun rising and setting, those patterns are also operating inside of us. The body is seen as this miniature landscape with its own climate, its own cycles that have to harmonize with the world outside to stay balanced and healthy.
Okay, so let's zoom in from that huge cosmic scale to something a little more familiar, the annual cycle. I mean, if the body reflects the seasons, then it just makes sense that medicine should too. And this is exactly what the Nanjing lays out for treatment.
And wow, the Nanjing gets super specific about this. And acupuncturists back then wouldn't just treat a condition. They treat it based on the season. In spring, as all that energy is bubbling up in nature, they'd use Jingwell points. But in the deep of winter, when energy is stored away, they'd go to the He-Si points. Every single season had its own prescription, all designed to harmonize the body with the time of year.
And it gets even cooler. It wasn't just about where the needle went, but how it was used. In spring and summer, the technique was actually deeper to nourish what's called yin, the body's cooling internal energy. But then in autumn and winter, the needling was much shallower. Why? To preserve the yang, the body's warming, protective energy. So the treatment itself was ebbing and flowing right along with the year.
All right, let's zoom in one more level. We've gone from the year, now let's go down to the day, the 24-hour clock. I mean, why do we feel sleepy at night and alert during the day? The Nanjing had a pretty fascinating explanation for this daily rhythm.
So it all comes down to something called yin-wei qi. Now, you can kind of think of this as two types of energy. You've got yin qi, which is nutritive and flows deep inside the body, and then you have wei qi, which is protective and circulates closer to the surface. And it's their perfectly timed 24-hour dance, one rising as the other falls, that produces our natural sleep-wake cycle.
And to show what happens when this rhythm gets thrown off, the text uses this powerful, really relatable example. It points out that young people, with their strong qi and smooth energy flow, they sleep soundly through the night, right? But in the elderly, as this energy weakens and its flow gets a bit obstructed, that rhythm falters, and that can lead to the very common problem of sleeplessness. It's a problem of timing.
Okay, get ready for this. We are about to zoom into the most granular, detailed level you can possibly imagine, the single moment of diagnosis. Because even a person's pulse, that tiny flutter at the wrist, was seen as having its own daily rhythm.
I mean, just listen to this quote from the Nanjing. It is just remarkable. It describes how a healthy pulse should feel different depending on the time of day. And we're not talking about pulse rate here, but its quality, its depth, its character. The pulse itself was seen as a tiny clock, reflecting the body's energy shifting between day and night.
So you can really see the logic when you break it down like this. During the day, when that active yang energy is dominant, the pulse is floating and large. It's closer to the surface, more robust. But at night, as the resting yin energy takes over, it naturally becomes deep and fine. A skilled physician could literally feel if your body was out of sync with the time of day just from the character of your pulse. It's incredible.
So, as we step back and pull all of these threads together, from the year to the day, all the way down to the pulse, we arrive at this really profound and elegant central principle.
The big takeaway here is that in this view, health isn't some fixed state you achieve and then you're done. No, it's a dynamic dance with time. Our bodies are constantly shifting with the seasons and the time of day. This means time isn't just a backdrop, it's a powerful diagnostic tool. And maybe most importantly, the timing of a treatment could be just as crucial as the treatment itself.
So,
The crucial point is this. This ancient wisdom completely shifts the perspective. It suggests that to really understand an illness, you have to ask not just what is it, but also when did it start and how does it change with the clock and the calendar. The dimension of time is completely inseparable from the state of our health. And that leaves us with a pretty big question for our own lives, doesn't it? In our 24/7 world of artificial light, constant notifications, and food from anywhere at any time, a world that basically tries to erase time's rhythms, what essential wisdom about health, about balance, and about our place in the natural world have we maybe forgotten?